For the people of the Middle Ages, demons were everywhere. In the flicker of candlelight, in the silence of the night, in the plague that swept through towns, and even in the dreams that left them breathless. They saw demons in sickness, in shadows, in death itself. To live in the medieval world was to live in fear of the unseen, a universe ruled not only by God, but by countless demons who preyed on the weak, the sinful, and the unsuspecting. This is the story of demonology in the Middle Ages, myths that shaped centuries of fear. Medieval demonology was born from faith, fear, and folklore. The church taught that Satan's armies were everywhere, tempting, tormenting, waiting to strike. Storms, illness, and sudden misfortune were explained as battles between angels and devils. Old pagan charms and protective amulets blended into Christian ritual, creating a world where the sacred and the cursed existed side by side. Many sermons warned that to doubt the devil's presence was itself a temptation by the devil. Fear was not weakness, it was proof of faith. And so, terror became holy. People prayed louder, confessed longer, and watched their neighbors with uneasy eyes, convinced that evil could wear any face. Even in holy places, grotesque gargoyles and sinister shadows reminded believers of hell's reach. Some demons struck in the dead of night. The succubus, a female spirit, was said to seduce men as they slept, draining them of life. Chroniclers wrote of monks tormented in their cells, claiming to see beautiful women made of flame. Farmers told priests of waking beside figures that vanished when touched. Such stories traveled fast, spreading terror faster than any plague. Her counterpart, the incubus, preyed upon women with lust and violence, leaving behind weakness, madness, and even strange births. What we might call sleep paralysis was, to them, proof of demonic attack. In England, the monstrous dog was called Black Shuck. In France, Le Chien Noir. In Germany, Der Teufelhund. Every region had its own name, its own story, but always the same warning. If you see its eyes once, pray you never see them again. To wake breathless, frozen, or terrified was to believe you had been visited by a creature of hell. Not all demons wore human forms. They hid in animals. The black cat became a witch's familiar. The toad, the crow, the rat, all were condemned as servants of Satan. Most terrifying of all was the black dog, a spectral hound with glowing red eyes, stalking crossroads and graveyards, an omen of death. Superstition turned innocent animals into signs of terror, and entire villages destroyed them in the hope of breaking curses. But no demon haunted the medieval imagination like plague. When the Black Death swept through Europe, killing millions, it was seen as Satan's punishment. Invisible spirits, some said, carried the pestilence through the air. Priests marched in processions, swinging incense, battling armies of devils only they could see. Neighbors turned on each other, accusing witches of spreading death, and in town squares the flames of pyres consumed the condemned. Art and sermons alike showed demons driving victims into hell's fires, proof that plague was not merely disease, but demonic vengeance. The church gave form to these terrors. Within its pages, demons had ranks, legions, and purposes, like an infernal army. There was Asmodeus, prince of lust; Belial, lord of lies; Beelzebub, the lord of flies, said to rule over decay and rot. Theologians debated which sin each demon commanded, as though cataloging a nightmare could make it less real. Exorcisms became a battlefield where priests fought the devil face to face. Grimoires cataloged the names and powers of demons, and the Malleus Maleficarum, the hammer of witches, declared that women who trafficked in sorcery were Satan's allies. To blame the devil was, in a strange way, comforting. It made suffering meaningful. It gave pain a purpose. If demons caused the world's cruelties, then faith could still save it. And so the medieval mind clung to both, belief and terror, like twin ropes across a pit of darkness. This book alone sent thousands to their deaths and ensured that fear of demons justified the witch hunts that scarred Europe for centuries. Psychologists give new names to old demons: trauma, sleep paralysis, delusion. Yet the sensations are the same: the crushing weight on the chest, the whisper in the ear, the sense of being watched when the lights go out. The ancient language of fear still speaks, and as long as darkness exists, so will the need to name it, to give it shape, to call it demon. Even landscapes themselves became cursed. Crossroads were seen as gates to the underworld, where travelers might vanish without a trace. Caves echoed with whispers said to be of demons waiting underground. Storms overcast the castles were proof of Satan's wrath. Even wells, sources of life, became feared as mouths of hell. In a world of war and famine, no corner felt safe from the devil's hand, building an infernal hierarchy. From manuscripts to sermons, myths of demons shaped how people understood fear. The night hag, pressing on the chest of sleepers, explained night terrors. Succubi and incubi explained lust, desire, and guilt. The hellhound and the crow explained death. The changeling explained deformity in children. Demons explained everything society could not. Though centuries have passed, their shadows remain. The night hag still haunts stories of sleep paralysis. The hellhound still stalks ghost tales of rural Europe. The incubus and succubus live on in novels and horror films. Even today, whispers of possession, curses, and shadows in the dark remind us of a medieval past where fear ruled belief. At last, the demons return to their pages, but their whispers linger still. Fear shaped belief, belief shaped terror, and in the dark corners of our imagination, the demonology of the Middle Ages continues to haunt us.